a study in, I think, the 90s or the 80s, when this was still considered ethical. They gave people placebo steroids, and I think the other group did actually have take steroids, but at pretty low dosage, but still. And the placebo group actually made so much better gains that was better than what you'd expect from that dosage in other research. So the placebo effect was actually stronger than the actual effect that dosage of steroids has in other research.
Wow.
The gains just skyrocketed. I think they gained like 20% strength in a couple of weeks on all their power lifts.
Yeah, so it part of it may have to do as well that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will just train much harder when they're on steroids. There's actually a lot of effects, because there's also research on the effects on mood and cognition of at least testosterone. We don't have that on other steroids, but they're probably similar. Androgenic anabolic steroids are all pretty similar to testosterone. And they found that in research, there's actually no effect on mood and cognition. So the common question is like, how does it feel to be on steroids? Maintain a stable weight during at least the first weeks of my coaching. It's like 1 to 2 months. After that, it gets very hard for most people, but they can maintain their weight, lose a lot of fat, and because they're building muscle at the same rate as they're losing fat. And there are tons of studies showing this. It's not just like me, my clients promoting what I do. It's like, it's in so many studies you see this place.
Yeah, I remember that one study as well from like these gymnasts who were put on low carb keto, and they got stronger, they burned body fat, and they increased their lean body mass. So it comes to show that it is truly possible even in people. And part of it has to do with also like the macronutrient ratios have to be quite on point as well.
Yeah, high protein diet is essential. I think 40 studies on this, well over 20, and they all found no benefit, no statistically significant benefit at least, of higher protein than 1.6 gram per kilogram per day total body weight, which is 0.72 gram per pound, I think. So your body has the building blocks. It just, if you give it protein and it can take the fat, it can build muscle mass, as long as the training program and everything is stimulating that process.
Yeah, and probably like being more keto adapted will also be beneficial in terms of that.
It's a bit still contentious about whether keto can enhance fat loss. There's 2 studies that show it's true. Most find it's neutral. Yeah, that small study found the increased nitrogen balance, which would be which would lend support to the idea it's protein sparing. At first, if you're getting keto adapted, there's actually good research in metabolic ward conditions that shows you go into negative protein balance. So that's bad news. When you're getting through the keto adaptation period, you may actually be more at risk of muscle loss. But then the weeks afterwards, that's also what that small study at least found. I think it was after 6 or 8 weeks or so, then nitrogen balance turned positive again. And it actually became more positive than the control group. So it might be there is something there that it's protein sparing, and you might actually also decrease protein requirements a bit.